Hello, Bridget.
Hi, Nergesh.
Thanks for joining me. Today, basically, we were interviewing um, some PHAB Service Star holders. I'm so delighted that you're on the list today, and I'd love to talk about your business and how PHAB Service Stars has performed in your eyes. So I'd love to start by saying you're Bridget Haren from Bridget Haren Hair and Beauty, and you're located in Ennis in County Clare. Would that be right? In Ireland?
Yeah.
How wonderful. And Bridget, I have to say that we're very thorough with our checks, and we're so glad that you are a PHAB Service Star holder. It makes us very proud that someone of your capabilities and quality is on our books. So for a start, thank you for joining me today. And I'd like to ask you a couple of questions about 2022 and going forward in this year. And you've expressed that Ireland is really suffering hard at the moment, and certainly our personal care sector is suffering with it. And there's been plenty of difficulties. So going forward, when consumers are looking for the best in industry, that's who we're trying to highlight. So that's what we're doing today. So could I ask, what made you apply to the PHAB Service Stars, please?
So I suppose I met you a couple of years ago in Dublin, and you were explaining to me about the PHAB standard, and I really liked the idea of it. And there was nothing like that in Ireland at the time. There was a few different things, like the Fantastic Hairdresser had the Fantastic Hairdresser Award, where you could do things like put in your figures, and they kind of went through all the different things, the 7 standard or characteristics that it takes to be a fantastic hairdresser. And I suppose I kind of wanted to apply for something again like that, just to keep, for me, I always like to be pushing myself and helping the team as well, because it's not just something that a salon owner can go for, it's the team can go for it as well. So I suppose I was kind of hanging myself out to dry first and testing it to see how it would go. So I said, sure, I'll do it first anyway and see how I get on with it. But I really liked the way that you actually got our real clients to give testimonials, the figures. And at the time when I was applying for it then, it was a really struggling time in business because we were being open and shut.
Correct.
And I really felt that, it probably mightn't have been the right time to do it, but I said, sure, I'll throw the towel in and we'll see how we go. And I really felt that it's something that I always kind of want to be keeping on top of myself and making sure that my standard is up to scratch, and that it was something, I suppose for me, in the back of my mind, I've always been that. I've always wanted to be the highest taker. I've always wanted to be the highest retailer. Like that for me is like
So
my
you're
own thing.
competitive. You're competitive.
I am. I'm competitive with
Good
myself
stuff.
as well.
That's what we like. And
Uh,
no,
yeah, so I
that's
really wanted to do that.
good stuff. And so I guess the next question would be that did you find us quite thorough in the way that we conducted what you were telling us? Were our checks quite thorough?
So definitely. Even the people I picked to give me customer reviews, um, they really felt like you went right through them. And I suppose I was glad that the 2 ladies I did pick, because they're well able to talk and they're lovely people, and they would give correct feedback. I would feel like they wouldn't hold anything back. The process itself, like even for me going through it and having to fill it out, and like you're almost writing a CV, and it is quite thorough, but I would feel like that, checking numbers and everything, you really have to be on your game all the time, because you don't give specific dates for the actual numbers either. So for me, like making sure that I wasn't on holidays the times that the figures went through, and then picking people that would actually give constructive feedback as well. And I have to take that on board as well. Like, I'm not a fool either. I know, like, you can't be 100% all the time, but definitely, you know, you have to try and make sure that you are up to scratch
Absolutely.
most of the time. Yeah.
So I'd like to just pick up on that point, and I've printed off just a couple of comments that your
Oh, lovely.
customers made about you. And this is what makes a PHAB Service Star holder. So just so that you're aware of you putting in all this effort into your business, etc., and how it comes across to your customers. This is something one of your customers has said. I'm taking it from several, comments here. So first and foremost, Bridget always listens to my hair concerns. Now, I've got to tell you, it's incredible how simple that is to make someone a fantastic hairdresser, to make someone a fantastic beauty therapist. And yet it isn't done. And so the customer observes that that's something you do, as opposed to, and she says, in the past, I have actually had to sample a couple of other hairdressers on the odd occasion. And believe me, not everyone does this. So that's one of the things. She's constantly looking at new techniques and uses them that best suit my face and coloring. That's amazing that the customer is aware of it. So you're also educating her as you're doing it, and she clearly loves it. This is I always leave the salon with a smile on my face after Bridget has worked her magic.
Oh.
This is such a compliment that a customer is telling you that it's every visit that it does it for her. I'll go on to say, that same lady says, Bridget is the only salon that has highlighted my hair in the last 18 years.
Yeah.
I mean, you look fairly young to me. I didn't even imagine you had a customer coming to you for 18 years. But
I won't be revealing my age.
I do have to say, this is magic, that your efforts are coming across to the customer. That's what we get to feel and evidence. So you can tell us what you like. You can type up what you want. We are always going to check it for it to be true. Because remember, I've spoken to these people, right? Possibly traumatized them, but and my sincerest apologies if I've done that. Anyway, another lady goes on to say she never assumes what I'm going to have. It's a full detailed consultation, but listen to this sentence. She is invested in my hair. That's what makes someone a PHAB Service Star holder. The fact that your customers picked up on that is magical. Then she goes on to saying, she cares about the condition of my hair. So when you're coloring their hair, she mentions coloring here, and she goes on to saying, but she actually cares about how much damage that's going to do to the hair shaft. You with me? So, I mean, that was brilliant. And then I'll end with this. She's in a class of her own. And I said to her, possibly the PHAB Service Star class. So I'd just like to let you know, it might be great for our PHAB Service Star holders to understand that their efforts and their energies that they put into the sheer concentration of customer-centric work, it comes across to the customer, and that's where their loyalty comes to you.
That's brilliant.
And I hope people listening to this video, consumers out there, will hear what it is you put into that business. Nothing short of blood, sweat, and gore. So I'm saying to you, thank you for your efforts. And certainly the industry needs more people like you. So I'll go on to saying, when you receive your PHAB Service Star, we've compared you to industry average. And because you qualify for it by being above industry average, what can your customers expect in 2022 when they visit your salon? So tell us all the wonderful things that are coming up.
Well, I suppose I'll start off by that we invest in our team. Like, that is one thing I always say, invest in your team.
Right.
Like, I invest in myself as well. We do things like wellness days in the salon, where we actually bring in like speakers into the salon, and we invest on all our stylists as well on the floor, even myself. And we try and, like, everybody here is here to do a job at the end of the day, but we're also there as well to look after our clients as best we can. Try give everybody 100%. Maybe that doesn't always happen all the time, but we're always looking like for what's new, like new techniques. One of the things that has really come out in the last few years is hair loss. So we've actually invested in an oxygen machine. So we are in the process of putting together a menu for hair treatments for the hair loss, for the oxygen machine, and to help people to grow their hair back, to start on like rituals. Anybody who's a sensitive scalp, or they might have psoriasis, eczema. So we're in the process of learning and upskilling ourselves, and we have the oxygen machine in, and we are on our way to making and improving. Not only are we looking at the condition of the hair, but we're also looking at the scalp as well, which is a huge issue. Even anybody after they have a baby, they lose their hair. So we're always upskilling everybody in the salon. I love and I'm really invested in this as well, because I think that it's kind of overlooked sometimes in your training.
Absolutely.
And it's something that we all kind of need to look at as a society, to look at like what is actually happening from different things like COVID and stuff like that. You know, what is going on out there? Like, are people suffering from different types of skin disorders that really people aren't talking about it? Whereas we want to kind of open that up and just say, look, it's a safe environment to come in and have a chat with your hairdresser about it. So that's something that we've really invested in.
Bridget,
Hair,
can I
yeah.
interject here, because this might be something worth knowing. That's superb what you're doing, but early in my career, there was a person that had suffered sudden hair loss, and we couldn't quite work out why it had happened, but she was a regular customer. And when we investigated it further, it turns out that 3 months earlier, she had had a surgery. And it's the aftermath 3 months later that the hair suddenly falls off for no apparent connected reason, because it's happened 3 months in the past. So this is something that you actually might be able to help a lot of people in County Clare. Basically, that's amazing. And I think with the fact that you're doing work there, I mean, your male clientele should grow dramatically with this service. Yeah. How wonderful.
Absolutely.
Please carry on.
So that's one of our first things that we have been working on. And we've been working on that through lockdown last year as well. We were online, we were training up on it. And then we had to get the oxygen machine in and actually train on that. So everybody in the salon, so we do it across the board, even our apprentices are actually trained up in the machine as well. Then our next thing is hair extensions. So we're really looking in and expanding our range of hair extensions as well. And expanding the different techniques in the salon. So we're going to be introducing a weave in the salon. We already do the bonds, and we do the nano beads as well. So we're going to be expanding our range in that.
Fantastic.
And then I suppose from looking at a different kind of side of the business as well, we've joined on with Green Salon Collective.
Sustainable.
So very excited about that. They launched in July of the lockdown 2020, and I love the concept behind it, like recycling the hair, you know, to make hair booms. So everybody feels like, you know, where's your hair going? Oh, it's going in a bin, and maybe it goes to recycling, maybe it doesn't. Now it does.
Yes.
We're recycling our foil. So one piece of foil takes 400 years to decompose once it's sent to landfill. Now they're recycling it all the time. So it's kind of like your linear model or your circular model. You know, are you going to be part of that? Like, I love the young girl Greta. I don't know if you.
Thunberg.
Oh, she's fabulous.
Hats off to her, I've got to tell you.
That's who we should be running our countries. But
well, yes, anyone will do just now.
So I really feel that we as salons, like salons are huge wastage. We really need to get on top of our recycling. We need to see how we can become sustainable in the future. And as the slogan goes, there's no planet B. So we have to carve the way for the future of our industry, really, and look at our industry as a whole and see what we can actually do with it. And for our clients as well to actually be invested in it, Joe, and teach them about like what we're doing with the hair, how it's cleaning up oil spills around the world, um, all the different things like that are tools like that we can make things out of the foil. We can recycle everything, and it's a big learning curve as well.
And
Like
we measure that. So when you next go into Renew, you'll be able to actually tick off, because consumers want to know now what you're doing. And so I've got to tell you, that's amazing, and so proud. Well done. Is there anything else you're doing in 2022 that you'd like to announce?
Well, the RPL as well for the recognised prior learning. We're on the pilot system, myself and our manager here, Michelle. So what we're doing is we were the first ones in Ireland to actually take on an apprentice on the new apprenticeship programme.
Wow.
And so we're kind of meeting both ways. So the apprentices are coming up this way and we're coming in this way. And by the end of it, we'll all have a level 6 certificate in the National Hairdressing Apprenticeship, which is worldwide recognised. It's a fabulous standard as well to have, because there hasn't been a hairdressing apprenticeship in Ireland in years. So for this to actually become about and for us to be part of it, we have fabulous apprentices in the salon, and like hopefully one day they'll all hold a PHAB standard as well. And we will train and we educate people as well what it takes to be a PHAB standard hairdresser. Even our stylists as well, they're all gearing up to go for the PHAB standard as well in the next year. So
thank you very much. The PHAB Service Stars that you meant earlier are actually looking for people, because we have a particular standard in place. We don't actually accept people that have just qualified.
Yeah.
Because I don't believe you can be the best having just qualified. So that removes that layer. And I think that we look forward to the young kids that you're currently dealing with in their apprenticeships and seeing how far they've come when they're ready to qualify. So thank you so much for doing that for all of us, but so impressive that you're so immersed in the industry. And can I just say that in Ireland, I found people working together in the industry, which I love. Yeah. I am in great awe of that camaraderie. So well done. Sorry, was there anything else you wanted to mention?
No, I think that was it.
Wonderful. And so could I ask, what is I guess partly I have to ask you this question because you seem very driven. You have admitted that you're also competitive. And of course, you're very generous with your time in the industry, etc. So that's an amazing combination to have. But for consumers, what is I guess, the difference in your attitude towards delivering a superb service? Could you describe that in a couple of sentences?
So I suppose for me, I love to make people happy and I love what I do. I love when people feel great about themselves, but I believe in all the products I use. I believe in all the training I've invested in, even myself. Not just even the hair side of things, like I invest in like my mindset and like in how I'm driven. And I really want, like when I speak to a client, I want them to almost feel like things that I would feel like. I love investing in like my fitness, my skin, my hair, everything. So I love to actually share that with my client as well. And I've like told clients about vitamins that I'm on from my gym that I would go to. I've told them about the gym and how I would find it. I tell them all about like the new hair products that I've discovered. We're using a sustainable product in the salon as well at the moment. And we're really looking at that going forward as well. And people are loving that, even all the products are recyclable as well.
Yes.
And people are really engaging with that as well. Like we've brought on R&Co this year as well. And we have the Chemon range as well. And I love people to actually see how much goes into the training of us, even to bring that into the salon, to bring that to them. And I think really once you kind of invest your whole self in that person, you want their hair to look good, but you want them to look and feel good as well. And if you can help them, even just by doing their hair and by their lifestyle as well, that really, for me, it makes me more of like a coach for them to help them in every aspect of their life. But I love hair, I love doing hair, I love everything about it, and I like people as well. So I think
So it comes across in this one sentence. Yet again, I go to my trusted paper and it says, I have full confidence in whatever she recommends, is what one of your customers has said. So it's coming across, Bridget, beautifully. So what you're doing is paying off. Continue doing it. It's amazing. And do you feel, to end this interview, do you feel that the PHAB Service Star has supported you in the time that you have not been in lockdowns, but do you feel that we support you on social media and stuff like that? And the last question to attach to that is, how would you like to be supported by us going forward?
Definitely, like I know when I got the PHAB standard at the beginning, we went into lockdown because I had applied for it before the Christmas, and next thing then January we were closed from January to May. So that for us, I was like, oh my gosh, here we are launching like this thing that I've spent ages doing, and we can't have clients in the salon. So really what I did was I invested my time then in using it to push and drive my website.
Oh, fantastic.
So we started doing lives, we started talking about all our products. I was doing videos and different things like that. So I was still able to use the PHAB standard to push that out as well. The social media behind it was brilliant. We were well able to publicize it then on our social media platform and what it was. And I was able to tell people in the industry about it as well through the lives. And then clients as well would obviously see that because we were going live every Saturday night, and I was able to do like hair.
Sorry, can I just interrupt? You know that we were there behind you at that stage, just sending that message across all our platforms at that stage. So we loved that series, by the way. It was great fun. Watching you set up on Instagram was great fun at the start of each of the talks, but they were so informative. That's wonderful.
They were hard though, like to be like on like all week you were kind of collecting your information, and like running the website was actually quite difficult when you were in lockdown. It essentially was like running another business. We literally stopped doing clients and started doing our own kind of hair on tutorials. It was crazy the way it turned it around, but it really launched our website as well and kind of kept us in the forefront for our clients. They were able to still connect with us. They were able to ask us questions. We launched our online consultation form then as well. So people were able to go on, upload videos of their hair, upload photographs, and we were able to connect with them. So I feel like the support then was still there from ye, because the PHAB Stars was able to like push us out there and still be seen, that we didn't just like completely shut the doors and we weren't there for people. We were there.
That's fantastic. And going forward, sorry,
the team then were all training. We were training on the oxygen machine. We were training on the hair loss systems.
Correct.
We were on doing courses online, and that kind of helped us as well to kind of keep a focus as well as to what we needed for when we came back into the salon. And then the last bit of your question was?
So the last bit would be, how better could we support you when you're not in lockdown? Because when you're in lockdown, your input was terrific, but other people tend to slow down because they find there's nothing to report. And, you know, that's kind of a little bit worrisome. But I know that was very thorough with you, but is there another way that PHAB Service Stars? Because remember, it's made by people in the industry for people in the industry. So if we didn't ask you guys openly and frankly, what is it that you'd like us to do going forward for you guys? If there's a way that you can think of that we can help support you guys, we're happy to do it.
Well, I think even what you said about, you know, the younger generation as well, you know, that you don't apply this star to them yet. Maybe if there was like a stepping stone for them,
I've
to
been
give them
asked.
a taste of what it is.
Correct.
You know, so that they can achieve a
Something.
first step and then go on to achieve the PHAB standard. So there's kind of like a stepping stone in place for them.
You're the third person in our whole list that has said that to me, because so many young people have actually asked, is there something PHAB can do for us? In the where the bosses got it, and where you know, we're getting our second wave now of individuals who like what the boss has done and are now following us and want their PHAB Service Star. So we've got applications coming through right now, which is lovely. And it also helps the boss, because if there's someone that has been vetted in their salon independently, and the boss is away doing something like you're doing, doing so much outside of your salon as well, that there is someone else that has been passed as the best in industry. So, you know, you can leave that person in the salon so that people know that the standard is still working when Bridget is out. So anyway, what can I say? I'll leave the last word to you. Is there anything you'd like to say to possible new consumers coming to you or looking for you in County Clare? And is there something you'd like to say to work colleagues in the industry?
Yeah, first of all, thank you very much, Nirgish.
Our pleasure.
Because it is fabulous for the industry as well to have something like the PHAB standard.
The PHAB Service Star. We were called the PHAB standard years ago, and it stuck with us, but it is now called the PHAB Service Star.
And anyway, that's where I originally heard it, so that's what stuck in my head.
I know.
So I suppose for the industry, really, it's you know, to get behind your team and get behind the National Hairdressing Apprenticeship. You know, it is something that is really to invest in the younger people coming through. You know, like for the consumer, like have a look at your salon and see, are they investing in a team? Like, we are the future of the economy. Like, if you invest in your economy, like, we're the ones who are creating the jobs, we're paying the VAT, tax, PRSI, you know, we're keeping the industry going. You know, that's what you kind of need to be kind of looking at as well. Like, we want people, like, everybody's situation is different. But like, look at your local salon and see what they're investing in. You know, are they investing in like your child coming up along? Are they giving them like Saturday work? Are they investing in the apprenticeship? You know, that's what we kind of need to start looking at. You know, what way are they looking at sustainability? You know, for like the eco-ness of the salons. You know, that's really where I'm trying to come from. That I want everybody to kind of take a look and a step back and just say, like, okay, who do we want to support? Do we want to invest? As I said before, there's no planet B. We are the future, and the future is coming behind us, and it's coming up pretty fast. So we need to make sure that we're ahead of it. Agreed.
And what inspired words, really. And I love your community sort of spirit, which will always keep that salon successful, because you're contributing to the community. Well, Bridget Haren, what a pleasure to have spoken to you today. I am proud that you're a PHAB Service Star holder, and thank you for your time. I know you're a busy lady and you're doing all kinds of things for everyone, but thank you for giving us this time here today.
Thank you so much, Nirgish.
Thank you. See you soon.
Thank you. Bye.